Exactly. I shared it briefly. We'll talk about it as much as I can publicly, but about the whistleblower that came forward in Canada on Sunday. I had a long call, and I was just like, you can't be serious. No, I mean, if it wouldn't been a prestigious person that introduced me to him, and then I got him vetted and verified, I would have said, there's no way humanly possible that story could be true, because he is the whistleblower of all whistleblowers.
Talking about that whistleblower, I had already had a prophecy. It's already pre-recorded. It'll come out on Friday, and there was talking about a whistleblower, and this was a very, very certain. When I heard this, I heard like a rider. And I don't know if he meant like rider on a horse, like you know how Paul Revere, he shouted before, you know what I mean? But or a writer, as in somebody who writes. And so when he said a writer, and I'm like, okay, which one is it, Lord?
So are you talking?
Anyway.
You talking about the whistleblower that potentially talked to me?
Could.
You know, it's
Yeah.
funny because when you said writer, I said, well, he's not a writer. And then I thought, aha, he is a writer of something different. He's a code writer in software.
Well, when I first written it down, it was R-I-D-E-R. And then when I went to dictate it and I was going through it, he had me change it to W-R-I-T-E-R, as in writer.
Wow.
Now listen to this. Like I said, I already did this prophetic word's already pre-recorded and set to already go out. A writer is coming, a writer that will shout the truth loudly for all to hear. A whistleblower that has been held back for a certain time. Someone who will shout the truth and the walls will crumble that enemies try to hide behind. Then it says, shout no more, then shout their demise. And it talks about later on in the same prophecy. So apparently this writer, so again, I thought it was like a writer, as like Paul Revere, you know, and then he had me change it to a writer, like a writer, as in somebody like I thought it was somebody who writes a book.
Going back to the whistleblower, he told me, because the crown affects Canada too. He said the king is not legit. He's not legit.